Today, we're going to talk about Agni and how Agni relates to the unique doshas. So, first of all, there are 4 different types of Agni. Okay, the first one is Sama Agni, which is healthy, balanced Agni. That's the Agni that is calling for food at the right times, digesting food properly, the tongue is pink, all is well. Sama Agni. The next one is Vishama Agni, which is kind of like, think about it as the Vata Agni. It's variable. It grows and sinks, right? A Vata type person is prone to this kind of digestion. They might eat for an entire day and then they'll eat like a bird for the next 3 weeks, or they'll have 6 meals a day, or like you just can't seem to catch where that Agni is going. It's very erratic, irregular Agni. The next one is Tikshna Agni, which is more of like the Pitta Agni. So that's an Agni that's too hot that will actually burn some of the food. It's very hot and very sharp, which means it's not giving it enough time to sort of cook properly and digest the nutrients. Think of like an egg that you would put in a pan that's way too hot. The bottom of the egg burns, right? And the top stays goopy. That is a problem when it's happening to our Agni, because the food is not getting digested all the way through. It's just burning up, creating all this heat. And then you're left with this leftover goop. There's also Manda Agni, which is slow or low Agni. It's very slow, sluggish, more of a Kapha type of Agni. It is very, it's low and slow, if you can think of a fire. So think of it as like coals burning, right? Instead of like fire, it's just coals burning low and slow. But often it doesn't make its way through food fast enough. The fire's not strong enough to properly digest the food, so that can become a problem. So those are the 4. Sama Agni, balanced, good, healthy Agni. Vishama Agni, which is the erratic Agni, erratic digestive fire. We have Tikshna, which is the very hot digestive fire, and Manda Agni, which is too low and too slow. So, Vatas. If you are a Vata type person, it is best for Vatas because they're so erratic and because they like to kind of jump from thing to thing. They have this irregularity in their schedule and often in their body and in their mind. They can get moody, ride a little bit of a moody roller coaster. We need to schedule the meals. And so for Vata, a good schedule for the meals is 3 square meals a day. Optional if they want to add a 4th meal as a snack later at like 8 o'clock at night. The reason being is because Vatas can't take in a large quantity of food. They can only hold so much food because they're so light and airy. They don't have the structure to be able to hold a lot of it as a container. So they'll eat a little bit of food, but then they're going to be hungry again. So that's why sometimes we recommend the 4 meals in Ayurveda, depending on the person and the Vata person, right? Is that last meal is sometimes necessary for sleeping all night long, because they might actually wake themselves up and have insomnia because they're still hungry. They ate at dinner at 6 o'clock and they're starving in the middle of the night, and they could wake up from that. So sometimes 8 o'clock at night, nice little snack. It should be like one thing, like a small bowl of rice, a small handful of almonds, a small little handful of raisins, or something that is just one thing, kind of small, just enough to carry them through sleep. Okay. Pittas are going to have the most strong digestive fire. Pittas are the type of people that can get a little hangry, right? So they're like, feed me now, because the fire's just going. It can create some irritability. So they want 3 meals a day for Pitta. Their quantities are probably going to be larger than Vata because they can hold more. They've got more of a burning fire for that food, and they will make their way through that food. We need to give them enough food so the fire just doesn't burn through it and they're hungry right away. If they don't give themselves enough in good balance of types of foods, the fats, the carbs, the proteins, all of those, and if we don't give them enough in quantity, they're going to burn through it really quickly and they're going to get angry again. So in general, Pittas, 3 meals. Also important for Pittas, don't overeat, because Pittas can get that, I'm super hungry, and then they overeat. Take your time. Pittas, take your time when you're eating, feel the food going in, feel how hungry you actually are. Yes, you need to eat good sustaining food, but you might not need to eat as much as you think to or want to. So bring your mind into your food. Kaphas here, so they have that slow burn of Agni. Kaphas can actually do fine with 2 meals a day. Be surprised. They might actually feel better. Sometimes kaphas just eat because everybody else is eating and they want to be part of it. Sometimes they eat because they're like, oh, it's time to eat and I know that I should eat. But if they really stop and feel, they might not be very hungry. Which is fine because kaphas can eat a meal and it takes them a long time. They do not get hangry. They don't get passy outy and floaty like a vata does. They just happily burn through their food like all day. Right? The problem with kaphas is if they eat too many meals in a day or in a week, the food buildup starts to happen and then they can feel heavy and sluggish. So kaphas, 2 meals a day is great for you. If you're hungry for 3, do that. Maybe the quantities are a little bit smaller. You're going to be the best judge of your own body in feeling how this food feels good for you. If you've been feeling overly heavy for a while and you can't figure out why, here is your permission, poof, of just pay attention to your own body and what you need, understanding that you're a kapha and you don't need as much food as the others do. You know, while vata does well with those 3 meals, perhaps the 4th meal, pitta does well with 3 meals, it might not serve you in that way. So you just say, hey, I'm a kapha. For example, my husband has like 1 meal a day. Either he will eat lunch or he will eat dinner, and he's good with that. So I honor that, right? Like we have to start honoring each other and our own bodies. And for you, if you're sitting across the table for somebody that's really, you know, they're full already, or, you know, they're taking their time eating their food or whatever, like we're not going to pass judgments about how other people are eating or what they're doing with their food. We're just going to pay attention to us. We're going to make it easier on each other, right? And have that good respect and compassion. And hey, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. Here we go. Look at how awesome the world is when we're all uniquely doing our thing. And so those are the agnis for the doshas. That's basically how the doshas work with their agnis. We are going to keep practicing and bringing this Ayurveda to life. Yes, we are.